2025 was average. Not a disaster, not heroic, just forgettable enough that it didn't move you forward. And if you've ever felt irritated watching people who work less somehow get better results, that's not because they're geniuses. It's because school rewards people who understand how to learn, and not people who just grind harder. And school is the only place where you can level up fast with almost zero life consequences. The fastest way to level up academically is to stop treating studying as a mission to complete chapters and start treating it as a mission to solve problems that will actually show up in exams. Top performers don't obsess over reading every line. They reverse engineer what they'll be tested on and train their brain to retrieve information quickly, under pressure, and without hesitation. If your method doesn't resemble the test environment, your brain won't perform properly when it matters. One of the most powerful ways to level up is to force your brain to recall information rather than re-expose it. Instead of rereading notes until your eyes glaze over, shut the book and try explaining what you just read out loud. You'll notice instantly that your brain struggles, and the struggle is the progress that builds memory. When you repeat that process periodically, just before you forget it, your brain pushes the information into the long-term storage. Students don't get high scores because they remember everything. They get high scores because they remember the part that matters. You're in math or science subjects. Understanding the chapter is honestly irrelevant if you can't apply it under time pressure. Every exam tests three abilities: recognizing a problem, knowing which method solves it, and executing fast enough to finish the paper. You don't build that by solving easy exercises you already know. You build it by attempting problems you don't know, getting them wrong, reviewing the mistake immediately, and repeating until your brain stops panicking when you see unfamiliar input. Academically, confidence is just exposure plus correction. High retention notes. Your notes also need to be built for speed, not aesthetics. Students waste hours rewriting pages that they'll never look at again. High performers create notes that get shorter and stronger with each review. The first version is messy and raw. The second version strips away fluff and focuses only on concepts that keep showing up. The final version is condensed enough that you can revise it in just 20 minutes. Real mastery isn't the ability to write 10 pages. It's the ability to compress 10 pages into one and still understand it. Micro-testing and daily review. Another habit that separates average students from high performers is the idea of testing yourself every day instead of waiting for a monthly exam to tell you when you're failing. Doing a tiny self-test for 10 minutes forces your brain to recall information, recognize gaps, and reinforce neural pathways faster than 3 hours of passive reading. You don't need tests to be big, you just need them to be frequent and purposeful. Study intensity and focus. Time matters less than intensity. A focused 45-minute session with no distracting outperforms a 3-hour marathon filled with half attention any day. Breaks matter too, but they must be recovery and not stimulation. Scrolling reels during study breaks destroys focus. Walking, stretching, or eating during break restores it. Studying isn't about quantity, it's about training your brain in the right state. High yield focus. A huge mistake students make is trying to master every chapter equally. Not all content is equal. Every subject has high yield topics that carry most marks. The real flex. The real flex in academics isn't just getting a random high score. It's being able to perform consistently because you've built a system that makes improvement inevitable. Learning how to learn lets you apply the skill beyond school. Languages, careers, skills, research, anything. Think of it as a cognitive strength training that pays off for your life. Closer. 2026 isn't about trying harder. Trying harder is vague and emotional. Improvement happens when you change how you work and not how much you suffer. When you stop grinding randomly and start training deliberately, school becomes not just easier but also predictable. Give yourself 90 days of structured effort, and the version of you at the start of the year will look completely different from the version at the end.